my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a few years ago, and the director came to me and said, look, I know it's a very sensitive subject, and we have this idea where there's this thing called reminiscence therapy, where we basically, the hippocampus, the part of the brain that Alzheimer's dementia is attacking, you stimulate via old memories and reignite neural pathways and so on, potentially. And it's somewhat experimental, but they're getting, there's a lot of positive results.
Yeah.
And so we had this idea about going back to the family home we lived in and doing a road trip up to Northern Territory. We lived in an Aboriginal community 4.5 hours outside of Catherine in Arnhem Land, and where he was a bull catcher. This is 30-something years ago. So we're going to do this motorbike road trip. And I was very apprehensive about it. I didn't want to sort of exploit anything he was going through for the sake of sort of drama and entertainment and so on.
Yeah.
But he said, man of deep integrity and humility. And I said to him, look, do you have any interest? And he said, oh, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And look, maybe, me sharing my story might help someone else. And so we embarked on this road trip, and we started in Melbourne, where we lived, and a friend of ours bought the house we lived in 30-something, 40, well, when I was born in Melbourne, lived in the house when I was probably 6 till 18. So 20-something years ago, he bought the house. And he had a series of photographs that he had taken of the house when he bought it. And so the art department said to him, can we have those photos? And they redressed the entire house.
This is amazing.
According to those photographs. And then we went to the house and walked in, and it was like stepping back in time.
Oh, my God.
That, I mean, it gives you chills, doesn't it? Yeah.
It was remarkable, and it was this overwhelming nostalgia, this ginormous reminder of the passage of time, emotional because of the memories we had there and now the memories we weren't going to have, or the memories that were potentially disappearing. And my dad walked in and he's like, I said, I'm trying to, there's cameras on us, and what do you think? And he goes, oh, it's great, it's great. I said, how do you feel? He goes, I don't know about all the theatrics, mate, all the cameras and stuff. I said, yeah, we're doing a documentary. And he goes, anyway, and he kept saying, where's your mum? She'd love this. And I said, well, she's not in the episode, didn't she? She goes, oh, okay. And then a minute later, he's like, where's your mum? What's she doing? And I said, well, Dad, she's not, she's here, but she's not, it's just us. And he kept asking, and it was so beautiful, he wanted to share it with her, and then eventually they were like, just bring her up. And so she came into the house. For her, it really hit home because it was a real reminder of the sort of memories we'd had and what we're missing. And then you saw him relax, that was his sort of anchor as things are sort of being taken away and disappearing. And it was quite beautiful and profound and heartbreaking. And I've had people say to me who've seen the episode who are suffering with dementia or Alzheimer's, say, I wish my kids could see this, or my family members, because people dance around the issue. No one comes and says, what are you afraid of? How are you feeling? Because it's too hard to confront. So they suffer in silence. And so I was asking questions to my father, and yes, on camera, but the questions I probably wouldn't have been brave enough to ask, and those things, and how is he feeling? And I asked him in the doc, I said, what are you afraid of? And he said, I just don't want to be a burden. And it said so much to me about him, and not that I could have any more respect for my father, but the fact that his main concern was not being a burden to those around him, more so than I'm losing my memories and my time is expiring, was beautiful. But the episode became about connection and about love and family and what's important.